Tracking some strong thunderstorms once again moving across central Florida, but will it last as we head into Labor Day weekend? I'll have the details coming up shortly.
The crosswalk battle outside Pulse nightclub reaching new heights. Protesters and law enforcement are not backing down.
I will not spend my life in prison.
I'm community correspondent Laverne McGee at the Orange County Courthouse. There were heated outbursts after Lawrence Doherty was sentenced to life in prison for the murder of former Orlando Magic player Adrian Payne. Details ahead.
Only on News 6, we're introducing you to heroes in our community who are answering the call to serve whether they're on the clock or not.
Is this the first time you've been off duty and had to help someone?
Yes, this situation unfolded before me, right before my eyes.
The rescue that saved a young boy from drowning and the reminder to stay safe ahead of a holiday weekend.
Streaming on clickorlando.com and broadcasting live, you're watching News 6 at 4 p.m.
We start off with a live look at the Turnpike near Claremont. We are tracking a chance of strong storms and heavy rain as we head into the holiday weekend. We are just getting the Labor Day weekend started as we take a live look at the airport, Orlando International Airport and Daytona Beach. Both spots expected to be very busy over the next couple of days. Meteorologist Michelle Morgan joins us now with everything we need to know for our forecast. Michelle.
Yeah, I'm already tracking some strong thunderstorms moving across central Florida this afternoon here, Lisa, and looking at a pretty decent downpour, especially confined along our coastal spots, staying south of Oak Hill. But we're going to continue to see some heavy rain as we go through this particular area. Scottsmore getting a good soaking rain at the moment, and again, we are looking at a special weather statement in effect for parts of Brevard County this early afternoon, which expires at 4:15. So just keep that in mind if you are heading out. If you live in this area, just stay inside until that particular storm continues to move eastward offshore. As we head to Lake County, looking at some strong thunderstorms here, staying south of Claremont. And as you can see, this will continue to move to our south and east. Look at all that heavy rain heading towards Four Corners. And we'll continue to see spotty showers as we go through today. Now, taking you live outside again, it is busy out on the beach this Friday afternoon, and I do expect things to continue to get busy heading into the weekend. Now, rain is in the forecast and pretty high chances Saturday and Sunday, but it's not going to rain all day. Of course, I'll have the details and the timing of the showers and thunderstorms coming up in my full forecast.
Michelle, thank you. Tensions are rising at the crosswalk outside the Pulse nightclub. New signs are now posted warning that it is illegal to deface the roadway or block traffic. Last week, the state painted over the rainbow crosswalk that honored the 49 lives lost in the 2016 Pulse massacre. Your Orange County community correspondent Mike Valenti joins us now live from the corner of Orange Avenue and East Esther Street. And Mike, we understand protesters have been talking to FHP trooper.
Yeah, that's right. Good evening. Today felt a bit different in both terms of tone and tenor. Now, FHP has been here for several days monitoring the area, but they really made their presence known today. That might have something to do with the fact that overnight FDOT placed these signs, two of them saying that defacing the roadway is prohibited and you cannot impede traffic. You could see one of the protesters answered that call with this sign that says "Love Wins." Now, just about an hour or so ago, there was this really interesting exchange between an FHP sergeant and protesters where the sergeant actually read them aloud two statutes that he said the protesters would be violating if they continued to cover the crosswalks. Those statutes are 316.0775 and 316.003. The former prohibits interference with official traffic control devices. Now, this exchange appeared to be a less tense one than the exchange that played out earlier today. Actually, while News 6 was on the air at noon, we saw protesters and FHP having a pretty lively conversation. No one has been arrested, and Orlando City Commissioner Patty Sheehan wants to make sure it stays that way. She was out here earlier today advising protesters not to put themselves in a position where they are arrested.
Sometimes you want to get arrested to show, solidarity and things like that, but I'm very concerned with the way the state is going, that they will not be treated fairly. And I've also given some information about attorneys to call, like local attorneys that will be willing to represent them pro bono. I think it's terrible that we're going through this in America.
Back live here at the corner of West Esther Street and Orange Avenue, you can see a look at the sign that FDOT placed overnight advising people not to, what they say, deface the roadway right here, which is a state right-of-way. And their argument is that even covering it with chalk would constitute defacing it. Now, right now, you can see protesters are only focusing on the sidewalk. They told me that they're going to take a step back, reassess their options, see if they want to cover it again with chalk, because as we know, FDOT has for the past several nights come back and cleared the area, returning it to a black and white crosswalk. But at least one protester did tell me that he heard what Commissioner Patty Sheehan said about not putting themselves in a position to get arrested. He says that if it comes to it, he is prepared to get arrested. We're live outside Pulse, the crosswalk of West Esther Street and Orange Avenue. I'm Mike Valenti, your Orlando community correspondent, News 6.
Mike, thank you. We are following breaking news. Right now, troopers are investigating a crash where a dump truck hit a bridge on I-95 and then took off. This happened this afternoon near State Road 528 in Cocoa. Troopers shared these pictures with us. They say the dump truck had an excavator, and the crash into the bridge damaged the pickup truck behind it. Thankfully, no one was seriously hurt. We do want to take a live look at that area right now. 2 southbound lanes are shut down and traffic is flowing in just one lane. Anyone with information about this crash should call the Florida Highway Patrol. The man convicted of killing a former Orlando Magic player will spend the rest of his life in prison. Today, he asked for mercy, but a judge gave him the harshest sentence. News 6's Laverne McGee was at the Orange County Courthouse.
I will not spend my life in prison.
That was 31-year-old Lawrence Doherty, just minutes after a judge sentenced him to life in prison for second-degree murder. He shot and killed Adrian Payne, who played for the Orlando Magic in the 2017-2018 season and was a former Michigan State Spartan. Back on May 9, 2022, they were outside of Doherty's home at 1:30 in the morning. Their girlfriends were friends and there was some type of disagreement happening. Tara Walker is also the mother of Payne's child.
And I first would like to say my heart goes out to the family.
Although he apologized, Walker emotionally spoke directly to him and asked the judge to sentence him to life.
I want to show you who you took. I want to show you who's growing up without a father.
Walker was there when her boyfriend was shot and says she asked Doherty to put the gun down. Doherty claimed he was trying to protect his family and home, but authorities say Payne did not have a weapon. After the sentencing, Doherty lashed out at her.
You're a liar, Tara.
Doherty's sister says she thinks there's more to the story and he does not deserve life in prison.
I know Lawrence is not an aggressor. He's not, and personally, it just does not make sense why Tara would ask her boyfriend to come to my brother's house without permission.
In Orlando, your community correspondent Laverne McGee, News 6.
We are working to figure out what led up to a small plane crash that hurt 2 people. Police sent us these pictures from this morning. The crash happened just outside of New Smyrna Beach Municipal Airport in the area of South Street and Clarendon Avenue. Police say they took the 2 people on board to the hospital. They are expected to be okay. The airport was briefly shut down but has since reopened. This afternoon, we are hearing from the heroes who made a difference for a family in Altamont Springs. Thanks to an off-duty firefighter, their little boy is alive. Your Seminole County community correspondent Catherine Silver has the story you will see only on News 6.
One moment I saw him running around the pool, and the next moment he's being pulled up from the bottom.
He was under the water, and Mom jumped in and got him.
Everything was pretty much bang, bang, bang.
Christopher Fearon wasn't just in the right place at the right time when a 5-year-old boy was drowning in this pool in Altamont Springs in July.
At that point, my body literally just reacted on its own.
He was the right person to come to the rescue.
I'm a Orange County firefighter, paramedic, work at Station 34.
You immediately went into response mode.
My body honestly just moved on its own. I saw it, and by the time I could even put 2 and 2 together, I was already tending to him.
At the time, he wasn't working. He was just enjoying a pool day with his own kids.
As soon as I got there, he was purple in the face, so I knew he instantly needed care. The main thing, especially with kids, is the breathing. Any lapse in breathing, they instantly decline very fast. So he was still gasping, so I flipped him over, let him get that water out. As soon as some of the water came out, he was able to take a deeper breath.
I imagine you took a deep breath at that moment too.
Yes, it was, it felt like a lifetime sitting there watching him gasp for air, but it did.
how quickly things change, how quickly they turn around when a life is on the line.
Obviously, we see pediatric in our notes and a flip switches.
Wolf Charles is a firefighter paramedic in Seminole County who responded to the call.
For kids, we want to see them crying, yelling. That's normal. For him, not so much. It's not what he's doing. It's kind of worrying us. So we rush him into the back of the rescue.
On a call like this, timing is everything.
In all honesty, early prevention makes our jobs so much easier, especially by someone who knows what they're doing.
Friday, Fearon was honored for saving the 5-year-old's life.
I want to present this life-saving award.
A young boy who will now learn how to swim thanks to a scholarship from the Gunnar Martin Foundation.
That's amazing. I'm really happy for him.
This is Florida. We're around pools, we're around bodies of water. Getting that child in a way that they can survive till help arrives is the best prevention we can ask for.
Critical lessons are saving lives, and so are the people dedicated to serving our community, both on and off duty.
So all I wanted to do since I was little is to help people, and I love it. I love it. Wouldn't give it up for anything else.
Catherine Silver, News 6.
Burmese pythons are an invasive species in Florida, and leaders say they are decimating native wildlife. How robotic rabbits are now being used to catch them, that's coming up.
The land is looking to expand its affordable housing options or options for people who would rather live minimally. I'm Molly Reed. Coming up, we'll tell you why the city is now considering allowing tiny homes.
News 6 Insider is sponsored by Orange County Library System.
Tiny homes could be coming to DeLand. The city is considering allowing tiny house communities as a way to create more affordable housing. Your Volusia County community correspondent Molly Reed explains how it would work.
DeLand is looking to expand its options for people who either can't afford a house or those who would rather just live minimally. Now, on average, tiny homes can cost anywhere from about $50,000 to $300,000. Part of the city's work right now is drafting the rules if this gets through.
Planning staff have done a lot of work researching what other communities and other states have done, and so there'll be standards of what they look like.
Mayor Chris Cloudman says the city is considering allowing tiny homes and tiny house communities around the downtown DeLand area.
We've looked at kind of a slightly different variation on either townhouses or condos in kind of a village format.
They would likely have to be on a permanent foundation, not on wheels, and they typically can be anywhere from 200 to 600 square feet. They would have to meet all of Florida's building codes for plumbing and electrical too.
You can have a single tiny home on your property and have either an aging parent or even a child just starting out be able to still live at home but be more independent.
The Neighborhood Center in DeLand also sees this as an opening to help more people. The center helps people experiencing homelessness and works to prevent it.
It would allow us to actually develop an area behind our bridge shelter to put transitional housing.
They're looking to use shipping containers to make a small, tiny home community right next to the center.
There's so many unique ways to have these containers created, and they're really lovely. And so we're planning to put 9 of them behind on an open lot behind our bridge shelter, where people coming out of the shelter can then stay in the transitional housing for 1 to 2 years.
Now, the tiny homes will go to the city's planning board on September 10th and then to the city commission on October 6th. I'm your Volusia County community correspondent Molly Reed, News 6.
Taking a live look now at Orlando International Airport from our Light Orlando Delivering Hope cam. Whether you plan to fly or drive this Labor Day weekend, you can expect a whole lot of extra company with you. Orlando International expects today to be the busiest day at the airport, with about 161,000 people passing through the gates. Nearly 891,000 travelers are expected to travel through Orlando during the holiday period, which runs through Tuesday. Now, to help move things along, TSA is encouraging parents to use its new Families on the Fly security lanes. The program provides families with kids 12 or younger the opportunity to be screened faster, and it will also be busy here.
A lot of folks are going to be taking that last trip of the summer travel season, so you can bet that we're going to see a lot of crowds at theme parks and beaches and popular resorts.
AAA says Orlando is expected to be the second busiest tourist destination. The best time to travel will be early in the morning. All right, and now time for your Labor Day weekend forecast. Meteorologist Michelle Morgan. Looks like we could be dodging some showers in some spots, Michelle.
Yeah, that's right. Now, for today, I'm tracking some showers and thunderstorms, Lisa, across central Florida, some of them packing a punch with heavy rain and a ton of lightning as we take a look at the radar. But heading into the Labor Day weekend, a lot of folks will be out and about, especially at the beaches. And I will say it's not going to rain all day, but we are looking at high rain chances, especially as we go into the afternoon hours. So as we take a look at this particular cell here over parts of Marion County, there is a special weather statement in effect until 4:45 p.m. for your area. Heavy rain over Ocala, over I-75 there, heading towards Reddick. So you'll see some showers and storms within 30 to 40 minutes or so. So make sure you have the rain gear ready. But the good news is that things are moving. So the flooding threat is minimal as we go through the afternoon hours. Taking a look at parts of Orange County and Lake County, looking at a pretty decent cell heading eastward. Now, this is heading towards Disney World. You can see Epcot right there on the map. So they're about to get some good soaking rain. For Corners, also seeing some good soaking rain at the moment. So I'll continue to monitor that very closely as we go through the rest of the afternoon. Oak Ridge, Orlando, you'll see some light showers as we go through the next couple of hours or so. Now, heading towards our coastal zones. Of course, I'm looking at the showers and storms over parts of northern Brevard County. We're looking at some good soaking rain that will be heading towards Titusville, Whispering Hills of Gulf Estates. Also looking at some heavy rain in your area and Indian River City. Everyone else, we're looking pretty good at the moment. But we are dealing with some gusty winds, really confined along our coastal spots. 15 miles per hour in Daytona Beach, 12 miles per hour in New Smyrna Beach and Palm Coast, picking up wind readings of 11 miles per hour. Now, in terms of the temperatures, right now, still toasty, lower 90s, lower 80s in a few locations that received rain within a couple of hours or so. But I do want to show you your hour-by-hour forecast for the rest of the evening.
Your forecast is sponsored by Renewal by Anderson.
This forecast featuring Lisa's dog. This is Lucy, looking
Aww.
so cute there. She's a little model, isn't she? So she's hanging out, you know, she's wishing for drier conditions as we head into the weekend so it doesn't mess up her walks. You're good during the early morning, girl, so you're good. But for the rest of today, keep the rain gear nearby. Rain chances will be between 40 to 50 miles per hour heading into the weekend because of the rain and also the cloud cover. That's going to keep our temperatures below average in the upper 80s. Now it's time everything out. As we wrap up the rest of the day, scattered rain, downpours are possible. Notice how hit or miss they are. As we head into the 10 o'clock hour, most of the shower and storm activity pinned along our east coast, along I-95. Overnight conditions look pretty quiet, and then heading into tomorrow morning, I do think things will remain dry with a few isolated showers. But as we get the daytime heating, also still tracking a stationary front over the area with the sea breezes, that's going to keep things unsettled. So scattered heavy rain and a few embedded thunderstorms are possible. Here's a look at your 7-day. 88 tomorrow with a 60% coverage for rain, 87 on Sunday with a 70% coverage, and heading into Monday's Labor Day, rain chances will remain high.
All right, Michelle, thank you. Now to a new trick in the fight against Burmese pythons in the Everglades. We'll show you how the robotic rabbits being used to catch them and how they're working. That's next.
This portion of the news is sponsored by Light Orlando, delivering hope together.
Florida wildlife crews are using a sneaky trick to catch Burmese pythons. They are placing robotic marsh bunnies in certain areas to lure out the invasive snakes. The toy robots have a heat signature, bunny smell diffuser, and natural movement to mimic the real deal. Video cameras monitor the bunnies and send out a signal when a Burmese python is nearby.
The Burmese python has decimated a lot of our native wildlife in the Everglades. In Everglades National Park, we're up to 95% reduction of fur-bearing animals in Everglades National Park, and that problem has radiated out into the surrounding natural areas.
In fact, leaders say the invasive pythons are creating an emergency situation for local wildlife, decimating the native populations. Central Florida's largest school district is facing a possible loss of millions of dollars. What we've learned about a big drop in enrollment and how school leaders are responding, that's next. Plus,
we all are desperate. We all are desperate.
Today marks 20 years since Hurricane Katrina hit the Gulf Coast. What's been done since then to prevent flooding like that from happening again? Welcome back. We are following several top stories right now. There are new signs placed at the crosswalk outside Pulse nightclub. They warn against defacing the roadway. If anyone chalks the once rainbow-colored crosswalk honoring the 49 lives lost in the 2016 massacre, they could face a criminal mischief charge. Last week, FDOT painted over that crosswalk. It's something that's happening across the state in response to a directive from the Trump administration. Troopers are investigating a crash where a dump truck hit a bridge on I-95 and then took off. This happened this afternoon near State Road 528 in Cocoa. Troopers shared these pictures. They say the dump truck had an excavator, and the crash into the bridge damaged a pickup truck behind it. Thankfully, no one was seriously hurt. A man found guilty of shooting and killing a former Orlando Magic player will spend the rest of his life in prison. Lawrence Doherty was convicted of killing Adrian Payne outside an Orange County townhouse complex in 2022 during an argument. Payne played for the Magic during the 2017-2018 season. The man accused of killing a 5-year-old girl in a hit-and-run crash will stay in jail. A judge denied his bond this morning. He was arrested earlier this week, nearly 2 years after the crash. News 6's Stephanie Rodriguez was in court and explains what happened.
Yosefi Arabu is facing years in prison for vehicular manslaughter, among other charges, in connection to a hit and run that left a little girl dead. While his attorney claims he isn't a danger to the community, the state was granted its request to keep him behind bars until his trial date. Just before his hearing, Yosefi Arabu was seen mouthing words and making gestures to the family of 5-year-old Ayana McCoy in the courtroom. I'm told by Ayana's father that Arabu was mouthing, "I'm sorry, I'm not the driver."
Mr. Arabu, you are not to communicate with anybody in the courtroom other than your attorney.
Police say that in November of 2023, Arabu was speeding down Orange Blossom Trail when he hit the Uber the 5-year-old and her family were riding in, killing her. A woman in the car with Arabu told police he was going 130 miles per hour just seconds before the crash. Arabu is accused of hitting the car, taking the license plate off the car he was driving, and hiding it between a mattress and a box spring. The state filed a motion to keep Arabu behind bars until his trial, citing the circumstances of the crash and his history of not following probation.
How long have you been in the Orlando area?
36 years. His attorney argued that conflicting witness statements suggest Arabu may not have been the driver and he'd show up to all future court dates.
We would argue that he is not a danger to the community or a flight risk, Your Honor.
But the judge granted the state's request and denied him bond. I spoke to Ayana's father after the court hearing. He tells me that he's satisfied with the outcome. Arabu will be back in court next week. Reporting in Orange County, Stephanie Rodriguez, News 6.
Orange County schools are seeing a sharper decline in enrollment than expected this school year, and that drop could cost the district an additional $25 million in funding. News 6's Angie Casada takes a look at the impacts.
I spoke with board members about what this means for students, teachers, and the district. District leaders say they plan for about 3,000 fewer students this year, but the actual drop is more than double that, nearly 7,000 students. And that could lead to an extra $25 million in budget cuts.
It's important to note this data is based on head count as opposed to FTE, which is slightly different. We are already collaborating with schools to make sure no school is cut more than necessary, but just needed to make you aware that we've got a burden to carry right now, but we're working to carry it.
District data shows about 3,000 of those missing students come from immigrant families. Board members tell News 6 the loss is troubling, both financially and personally.
To see them afraid and leaving is heartbreaking.
As a school board, we need to really be focused on the academics, making sure that we're doing everything that we can to show that our schools are top-notch.
District leaders are still hoping some students will enroll after Labor Day, but the shortfall is the largest since the pandemic. And it comes as Florida's school voucher program continues to grow, taking money out of the school district.
We are only in the first 2 weeks of school, and we won't really have final numbers until October. So we are continuing to monitor what's happening.
Now, the district is working with principals to minimize cuts while still trying to bring families back into public schools, but now has twice the work to do.
Angie, thank you. City leaders in Leesburg have decided to turn the city's shuffleboard courts into tiny homes for at-risk youth. And now we're learning those courts will close in November. We told you about this on Monday at News 6 at 4. Leesburg is donating the property to Forward Paths. It's a nonprofit that helps homeless youth and young people aging out of the foster care system. That also means the Shuffleboard Club, that's been around for more than 50 years, will have to close. Dozens of people packed City Hall to oppose the plan earlier this week, including Lake County Commissioner Anthony Sabatini.
No cities are doing this. There are no cities who have walked into this fake, false dichotomy of, do I want to destroy a historic parkland in order to help troubled youth or youth with bad circumstances versus the park? I mean, that's a completely false dichotomy that doesn't need to exist. This whole thing is so unnecessary.
Club members say they support the mission, just not on these courts. They are now preparing to file a lawsuit to fight the decision. Today, city leaders told us the shuffleboard courts will officially close on November 7th. 20 years ago today, Hurricane Katrina made landfall in Louisiana and Mississippi, breaching levees in New Orleans. CBS News' Rob Marciano covered the hurricane in 2005. He's in New Orleans with a look at the city's recovery.
In 2005, Hurricane Katrina barreled into the Gulf Coast, with Mississippi feeling its wrath. Lives forever changed.
I'm just glad you're alive.
How's everything? Now, 20 years later, good to see you, Bobby. All right. We caught up with Biloxi, Mississippi restaurant owner Bobby Mahoney, who remembers Katrina vividly.
I was like this, and so I did that. So one wave, two. I turned my head to look back over there, and then I come back, and the wave's in the window.
In Louisiana, storm surge from Katrina breached the levees in New Orleans, creating catastrophic flooding and a historic humanitarian crisis.
We all are desperate. We all are desperate.
The following years were spent building a better flood protection system, including this, the world's largest pump station, which blocks storm surge from the Gulf and pumps rainwater away from the city.
This is the battleground right here.
This is it.
Holding back that water and throwing this water back.
Yeah. Jesse Knoll heads the organization running this massive complex, which boasts 11 pumps.
This is it. This is what's moving the water.
And they're powered by enormous engines, able to move 142,000 gallons of water per second. On the other side of the city, there's also this 26-foot-high, nearly 2-mile-long surge barrier. And since 2012, New Orleans has remained mostly dry, including during 2021's Hurricane Ida.
But we had 7 feet of water screaming at us from the other side.
Wow.
So it was a wild event.
That's a good test.
It is.
Still, Knoll knows the challenge never ends.
Do you think we've built a big enough system to withstand the 100-year storm, the 500-year storm?
I think we started out with what was able to defend against the 100-year storm in 2007 to 2010, and we're continuously working to make it better.
So it's a constant battle, isn't it?
It is indeed. It is indeed, but it's one worth fighting.
Worth fighting for sure. It does come at a cost. The entire flood protection system cost $14.5 billion to build. We do need to give a shout out to the progress we've made on the forecasting front. The National Hurricane Center has reduced its forecast error by 50% in the last 20 years, essentially doubling its track accuracy. And what that does, it gives emergency managers more time to give more accurate and targeted evacuation orders, in the end, saving lives. Rob Marciano, CBS News, New Orleans.
Yesterday, we told you how Florida is sending subpoenas to Orange County workers over DEI spending. Coincidentally, an African-American history museum is revealing how it will spend $2 million in Orange County tourist tax funds. Your Paramore community correspondent, Jarrell Baker, spoke with the executive director of the Wells-Built Museum.
Welcome to the Wells-Built Museum of African American History and Culture in Paramore.
When we start, we first introduce Dr. William Monroe Wells because, of course, this is where it all started.
Dr. Wells built the two-story building in the 1920s, originally as a hotel during the segregation era, where African Americans could be safe and enjoy entertainment, including Ella Fitzgerald, B.B. King, and Ray Charles. Icons like Jackie Robinson and Supreme Court Justice Thurgood Marshall also stopped by. Now the 100-year-old building, filled with dozens of African American historical artifacts, is getting more than $2 million from the Orange County Tourism Development Tax for much-needed renovations.
Some of the doors need fixing, the elevator so that people have easy access to the second floor, which is where all of the hotel rooms would have been.
Executive Director Elizabeth Grace says the money will also go to HVAC repairs, paving, doors and windows, all in accordance with historic preservation guidelines.
It's also going to help us renovate the former home of Dr. William Monroe Wells.
For Grace, she's continuing the work her mother, the late Senator Geraldine Thompson, started. Thompson founded the museum in the 1990s, saving the building from demolition at the time.
So there's 3 of us, but I used to tease her that she had 4 children and that this Wells-built museum was absolutely her baby.
Last year, Thompson was on the Florida Museum Black History Task Force, pushing to bring the future site to Eatonville. Even though St. Augustine was officially chosen instead, her dream of showcasing African American history in Orlando still lives on.
Continuing her life's work and her passion is a privilege for me. And it means the world to be able to make sure that her legacy continues.
Grace says they plan to start construction on their renovations by the end of the year. In Paramore, Jarrell Baker, News 6.
Starting tonight, you can catch Mickey and friends hitting the ice.
We're basically taking the audience and we're bringing them along like they're jumping in the story with us.
This Disney on Ice performer shares what you can expect from a brand new show debuting in Orlando. That's next.
And we are looking at high rain chances as we head into the weekend. It's not going to be a complete washout, but be prepared for some downpours across Central Florida. Of course, I have the details and the timing coming up in my full forecast.
And before we head to break, we have an all-new primetime schedule on News 6 Plus to tell you about. We have a new take on the day's news on News 6 tonight. That's at 9. Go in depth as we track the tropics and answer your weather questions at 9:30. Then watch the late news an hour earlier. It's all tonight on News 6 Plus. And you can download our streaming app for free. Just search WKMG in your smart TV's app store. It's also available on Roku, Apple TV, and Fire TV.
Disney on Ice is debuting an all-new show at the Kia Center in downtown Orlando. I'm News 6 producer Brooke Savage, and I have Chris Roberts here to tell us all about it. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
So like I said, this is an all-new show. It's called Disney on Ice Presents Jumps In. What can people expect?
So Disney on Ice jumps in. Mickey and his friends, Minnie, Donald, Goofy, take the audience on a magical adventure through some of their favorite stories, such as Frozen. But we also introduce some new stories like Moana 2, and we have some special characters that have never before seen on ice.
That's exciting. So what is this year's theme? When you say jump in, how is it compared to last year? Because last year I know it was about Mickey as a DJ remixing all the movies. So what is it like this year?
With Jump In, we're basically taking the audience and we're bringing them along, like they're jumping in the story with us. So there's a couple of opportunities for the audience to actually interact with the show.
You mentioned you're part of the character experience, so you don't ice skate during the show, right?
I don't ice skate. I do get opportunities to do stuff in the ice show that is non-ice skater related, but my main role is working with the character experience. It's a special event that happens 1 hour prior to the ice show. It is a separate ticketed event, but I think it's Disney's way of spreading even more magic to the guests across the world.
Is there anything else you want to bring on about Disney on Ice?
If anyone would like to come and see the show, I invite you to come to DisneyOnIce.com, where you'll find the tickets and show times. Also, you'll get the information about that character experience.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
And like Chris just mentioned, I also posted that link on clickorlando.com/settingthestage in the podcast studio. Brooke Savage, News 6.
And there will be 6 shows starting tonight. Disney on Ice runs through Sunday at the Kia Center. And we want to check in now with meteorologist Michelle Morgan. Might be a good time to plan some indoor activities, even though I know a lot of people have a lot of outdoor activities planned for this holiday weekend.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? It's kind of half and half, Lisa. So for the first half of the days as we head into the weekend, I think we'll be fine. The heavy rain, the downpours, the tropical downpours, thunderstorms are expected later on in the day. So whether you're going to do anything inside or outside, you just have to keep an eye on the timing. But I do want to show you what's happening right now. Just like yesterday, I am tracking some strong thunderstorms moving across central Florida. So we'll start off with Marion County, looking at a decent cell that is moving right over Ocala. It is producing heavy rain, a ton of lightning. And you see all of those colors, red, some purples, could potentially be a little bit of hail within the core of that thunderstorm. But because of the strength of this thunderstorm here, we are looking at a special weather statement in effect until 5:30. So what that means, strong gusty winds up to 40-50 miles per hour are possible. Of course, the heavy rain and the lightning are all hazards. So if you live in that area, you are experiencing that heavy rain. Within the hour, it should continue to move to our south and east. Now, as we go to the metro area, we are looking at another special weather statement in effect for parts of Osceola County. This is going straight towards Kissimmee, right over Disney World, getting some heavy rain, Champions Gate along the I-4 corridor, and things are moving, thankfully, so that's good news there. We'll go ahead and take a look at the loop here just to see the movement of the storms. So it is moving to the southeast, so we'll continue to watch that as of right now as that heavy rain continues to make its way towards the coastline, and then, of course, looking at some strong thunderstorms here over parts of northern Brevard County, over Mims, Titusville, as well as Bellwood, and over parts of Merritt Island. As I take you outside here, Daytona Beach, people are having a good time still. You could see there the red flag. It is blowing out in the wind because we are picking up wind gusts at the moment at 14 miles per hour with temperatures at 85 degrees. Downtown Orlando, clouds are continuing to build. You can see this camera view here pointed out to our south and west with that heavy rain way out in the distance. Not raining in the metro area quite yet, but again, there is the potential for that happening as we go through the next hour, which could make that commute kind of dicey. Now, we are looking at 88 degrees. It's feeling like 93 because of the high humidity. Wind gusts along our coastline between 10 to 15 miles per hour. And here's a look at your forecast as we head into the holiday weekend.
Your forecast is sponsored by Ramjack.
Upper 80s, rain chances between 60 to 70%, so have the rain gear nearby, especially during the afternoon hours. And here's why. Stationary front really causing some trouble for us, meaning rain chances remaining high as we go through the next several days. So timing things out for the rest of the evening, scattered rain, embedded thunderstorms are possible across central Florida. Could see a few embedded thunderstorms heading into tonight over parts of northern Brevard County. Now, tomorrow morning is expected to start off dry, but as I fast forward things as we go through the afternoon hours, scattered rain is expected with a few thunderstorms producing heavy rain. So hit or miss as we go through your weekend. So here's a look at your 7-day. 88 tomorrow, 60% coverage for rain, 87 on Sunday, 70% coverage. And our daytime highs stay below average as we go through Wednesday, and those rain chances staying moderate.
Michelle, thank you. We just told you about Disney on Ice in Orlando, but if you're looking for other ideas, we have you covered. We'll have your 6 things to do this Labor Day weekend. That's next.
Coming up on Monday, the cost of gas is down, but will that really make that next road trip less expensive?
What the numbers really show as many celebrate the long Labor Day weekend.
Plus, we'll let you know if the weather will cooperate for your holiday plans.
We'll see you Monday for News 6 Morning starting at 6 o'clock.
I'm meteorologist David Nazario. Here's a look at your 6 things to do in Central Florida this weekend. Taste the flavor of Haiti on Saturday afternoon. The food festival runs from 12:30 to 9 in Luminary Green Park. That's on North Terry Avenue in downtown Orlando. Or you can spend your Saturday wasting away on Flagler Beach. It's the Jimmy Buffett day of service from 8 to 10 in the morning. Pitch in to clean up the beach, then hang out with your fellow parrot heads. Saturday is also Night Under the Stars at the Kennedy Space Center. The Intergalactic Glow Party starts at 6:30 p.m. The Out of the World lighting scheme will highlight the historic rockets at the Visitor Center. You can also check out Gator Days Saturday and Sunday from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. at the Daytona Aquarium. On Sunday, it's the 5th annual Labor Day 5K in Baldwin Park. Plenty of shade to beat the heat as you make your way around Lake Baldwin. It starts at 8 a.m. And if running is not your thing, take a leisurely hike at Split Oak Forest. The guided Labor Day hike begins Monday at 8 a.m.
We want to know about events happening in your neighborhood for next weekend. So drop us a line. Head over to clickorlando.com and select Contact Us. And have a great weekend. I'm meteorologist David Nazario, News 6.
The biggest Disney fan event is happening right now at Walt Disney World, and this year, Destination D23 is taking guests back to the 90s. Festivities kicked off yesterday at AMC Disney Springs with a throwback premiere of a Goofy movie. It was at the very same theater where the film first debuted 30 years ago. Fans got an extra surprise. The voice of Goofy himself, Bill Farmer, even did his famous yodel.
There you go. As simple as that.
There is a jam-packed weekend of Disney announcements and celebrations still ahead, and News 6 will be there for all of it. News 6 at 5 is up next. Anchor Matt Austin is in the newsroom with what's ahead. Matt.
A UCF student accused of shooting cell phone video up a woman's skirt in the campus library. The excuse he gave when trying to explain his actions. And only on News 6, we're introducing you to heroes in our community. The rescue that saved a young boy from drowning, and the reminder to stay safe this holiday weekend. Your forecast is only minutes away. Don't forget, you can stream all of our newscasts and live cameras like this look at Daytona Beach for free anytime on News 6 Plus.
Streaming on ClickOrlando.com and broadcasting live, you're watching News 6 at 5 p.m.
A UCF student under arrest accused of shooting cell phone video up the skirt of a woman at the library. Wait until you hear this guy's excuse.
Crosswalk confrontation in front of Pulse. Hear the new warning for people trying to bring back a rainbow at the intersection.
And sentenced to life for killing a former Orlando Magic player. The killer's message as he was led out of the courtroom.
But we start with the video voyeurism case at UCF. A student is accused of recording video up a woman's skirt.
This all happened at the library at UCF. Our Orlando community correspondent Mike Valenti reports police say the suspect tried to explain himself by saying it was his job.
The incident in question apparently unfolded behind me inside the John C. Hitt Library. The victim telling police that she was on the 5th floor studying when she noticed a cell phone camera pointing directly up her skirt.
It's disgusting behavior. I think it's scary. It's gross.
UCF police say that after the victim noticed what was happening, she demanded to see Yun-Soo Lee's phone. Police say the 23-year-old defendant tried to hide it, but she was able to see herself on his phone.
It's surprising that happened in the library. Because I feel like that's probably one of the safer areas.
A criminal complaint alleges that Lee told a witness that taking videos was his, quote, job, and that there are entire communities for these kinds of videos.
It's awful for him to say it's his job, too, and try and validate things is wrong.
The witness told police that Lee deleted the video, but that Lee said he sells photographs and videos of women.
You're going to have to find somewhere else to study, sir. I'm going to order that you not return to that library.
Meanwhile, a judge Friday set Lee's bond at $6,500. UCF confirmed it's aware of the incident and that Lee is a student, but that because UCF PD is actively investigating, the school cannot provide further information. I'm your Orlando community correspondent, Mike Valenti, News 6.
Well, it's a busy holiday weekend, and you probably have some outdoor or travel plans, I would imagine.
Meteorologist Michelle Morgan has more on what we can expect for the weekend. Michelle?
Yeah, it looks like rain chances will be pretty elevated as we head into the holiday weekend. But for now, I am tracking a few strong thunderstorms developing across central Florida this afternoon. So that commute home may be a little bit dicey in a few locations here. I am looking at a special weather statement over parts of Ocala or Marion County, I should say, until 5:30, meaning this particular storm that is over Ocala heading towards Bellevue. It has the chance for producing not only heavy rain, a ton of lightning you can see, and also gusty winds up to 40, even 50 miles per hour. So I'll continue to watch it there. Also looking at some strong thunderstorms moving across parts of Osceola County, Kissimmee over Disney World. And look at all that heavy rain there in that area. Most of the shower and storm activity is beginning to dissipate over northern Brevard County, but looking at heavy rain still sitting over Merritt Island. Taking you outside Daytona Beach, we still have folks enjoying their beach day for today. Wind gusts at 14 miles per hour, 84 degrees. And then downtown Orlando, clouds continuing to build in our area. We could potentially see scattered rain and a few thunderstorms as we go through the next couple of hours. So as I mentioned, rain chances will be high heading into the weekend. Of course, I have the timing. So again, you can set your plans as we go through the upcoming weekend.
All right, Michelle, thank you. Well, protesters and police clashing outside the former Pulse nightclub at the site of that rainbow crosswalk. New signs are now posted warning it's illegal to deface the road or block traffic. Overnight, FDOT placed these signs by the crosswalk warning people not to impede traffic and that defacing the road is prohibited. This comes after controversy that began last week. The state, of course, painted over that rainbow crosswalk, honoring the 49 lives lost in that 2016 massacre. Earlier this afternoon, there was a pretty interesting exchange between protesters and an FHP trooper. Later in the day, a sergeant read them two statutes that he says the protesters would be violating if they continue to cover the crosswalk in chalk.
A person may not, with lawful authority, attempt to, or in fact, alter, deface, injure, knock down, or remove any official traffic control device, or any railroad sign or signal, or any inscription, shield, or any symbol of their arm, or any other part thereof. A violation of the subsection is a criminal violation pursuant to 318.17. and shall be punishable set forth related to criminal mischief.
Now, so far, nobody has been arrested, and Orlando City Commissioner Patty Sheehan has been out there today advising protesters not to put themselves in a position to get arrested.
Right now in Brevard County, troopers are investigating a crash where a dump truck hit a bridge on I-95, then took off. This happened this afternoon near State Road 528 in Cocoa, and 2 southbound lanes are still shut down. Traffic is flowing in 1 lane right now. Troopers say the dump truck had an excavator, and the crash into the bridge damaged a pickup truck behind it. Thankfully, no one was seriously hurt. The man who killed former Orlando Magic player Adrian Payne was sentenced to life in prison today. Lawrence Doherty pleaded for mercy, but a judge gave him the harshest sentence. News 6 community correspondent Laverne McGee was in the Orange County courtroom and heard an emotional outburst.
I will not do my life in prison. That was 31-year-old Lawrence Doherty, just minutes after a judge sentenced him to life in prison for second-degree murder. He shot and killed Adrian Payne, who played for the Orlando Magic in the 2017-2018 season and was a former Michigan State Spartan. Back on May 9, 2022, they were outside of Doherty's home at 1:30 in the morning. Their girlfriends were friends, and there was some type of disagreement happening. Tara Walker is also the mother of Payne's child.
And I first would like to say my heart goes out to the family.
Although he apologized, Walker emotionally spoke directly to him and asked the judge to sentence him to life.
I want to show you who you took. I want to show you who's growing up without a father.
Walker was there when her boyfriend was shot and says she asked Doherty to put the gun down. Doherty claimed he was trying to protect his family and home, but authorities say Payne did not have a weapon. After the sentencing, Doherty lashed out at her. You're a liar, Tara. Doherty's sister says she thinks there's more to the story and he does not deserve life in prison.
I know Lawrence is not an aggressor. He's not, and personally, it just does not make sense why Tara would ask her boyfriend to come to my brother's house without permission.
In Orlando, your community correspondent Laverne McGee, News 6.
An update to a story we first brought you last night. The city of Melbourne says the boil water advisory has been lifted. Officials say there was a bacteria survey that showed the water was safe to drink. Anybody with questions can call the city of Melbourne Public Works. About 167,000 people were impacted.
Well, tiny homes could be coming to DeLand.
Yeah, the city is considering allowing tiny house communities as a way to bring more affordable housing options. News 6 Volusia County community correspondent Molly Reed breaks down how it would work.
DeLand is looking to expand its options for people who either can't afford a house or those who would rather just live minimally. Now, on average, tiny homes can cost anywhere from about $50,000 to $300,000. Part of the city's work right now is drafting the rules if this gets through.
Planning staff have done a lot of work researching what other communities and other states have done, and so there'll be standards of what they look like.
Mayor Chris Cloudman says the city is considering allowing tiny homes and tiny house communities around the downtown DeLand area.
We've looked at kind of a slightly different variation on either townhouses or condos in kind of a village format.
They would likely have to be on a permanent foundation, not on wheels, and they typically can be anywhere from 200 to 600 square feet. They would have to meet all of Florida's building codes for plumbing and electrical too.
You can have a single tiny home on your property and have either an aging parent or even a child just starting out be able to still live at home but be more independent.
The Neighborhood Center in DeLand also sees this as an opening to help more people. The center helps people experiencing homelessness and works to prevent it.
It would allow us to actually develop an area behind our bridge shelter to put transitional housing.
They're looking to use shipping containers to make a small, tiny home community right next to the center.
There's so many unique ways to have these containers created, and they're really lovely. And so we're planning to put 9 of them behind on an open lot behind our bridge shelter, where people coming out of the shelter can then stay in the transitional housing for 1 to 2 years.
Now, the tiny homes will go to the city's planning board on September 10th and then to the city commission on October 6th. I'm your Volusia County community correspondent Molly Reed, News 6.
Well, how about going above and beyond the call of duty for one Seminole County firefighter?
Up next, an incredible story about a jump into action while off duty. Next at 5, your Seminole County community correspondent has an exclusive interview you will see only on News 6 about how it all went down.
You're watching News 6 at 5. We'll be right back.
Today's Port Canaveral Cam is sponsored by Launch Credit Union.
This Labor Day weekend, families will likely be spending some time near the water, but this year has already proven to be dangerous for child drownings.
So tonight we're introducing you to the heroes who made a difference for a family in Altamont Springs. Thanks to an off-duty firefighter, their little boy is alive. Our Seminole County community correspondent, Catherine Silver, has the story you'll see only on News 6.
One moment I saw him running around the pool, and the next moment he's being pulled up from the bottom.
He was under the water, and Mom jumped in and got him.
Everything was pretty much bang, bang, bang.
Christopher Fearon wasn't just in the right place at the right time when a 5-year-old boy was drowning in this pool in Altamont Springs in July.
At that point, my body literally just reacted on its own.
He was the right person to come to the rescue.
I'm a Orange County firefighter, paramedic, work at Station 34.
You immediately went into response mode.
My body honestly just moved on its own. I saw it, and by the time I could even put 2 and 2 together, I was already tending to him.
At the time, he wasn't working. He was just enjoying a pool day with his own kids.
As soon as I got there, he was purple in the face, so I knew he instantly needed care. The main thing, especially with kids, is the breathing. Any lapse in breathing, they instantly decline very fast. So he was still gasping, so I flipped him over, let him get that water out. As soon as some of the water came out, he was able to take a deeper breath.
I imagine you took a deep breath at that moment too.
Yes, it was, it felt like a lifetime sitting there watching him gasp for air, but it did.
How quickly things change, how quickly they turn around when a life is on the line.
Obviously, we see pediatric in our notes and a flip switches.
Wolf Charles is a firefighter paramedic in Seminole County who responded to the call.
For kids, we want to see them crying, yelling. That's normal. For him, not so much. It's not what he's doing. It's kind of worrying us. So we rush him into the back of the rescue.
On a call like this, timing is everything.
In all honesty, early prevention makes our jobs so much easier, especially by someone who knows what they're doing.
Friday, Fearon was honored for saving the 5-year-old's life.
I want to present this life-saving award.
A young boy who will now learn how to swim thanks to a scholarship from the Gunnar Martin Foundation.
That's amazing. I'm really happy for him.
This is Florida. We're around pools, we're around bodies of water. Getting that child in a way that they can survive till help arrives is the best prevention we can ask for.
Critical lessons are saving lives, and so are the people dedicated to serving our community, both on and off duty.
It's all I wanted to do since I was little, is to help people, and I love it. I love it. Wouldn't give it up for anything else.
Catherine Silver, News 6.
That is wonderful. And I imagine it did feel like a lifetime while they're waiting for him to breathe on his own. Yeah.
Got to teach those kids to swim while
very
they are young. All right, let's get you over to meteorologist Michelle Morgan. Michelle, I can see some activity behind you.
Yeah, tracking a few storms here, Matt, just like yesterday, but nothing severe, thankfully. But a few strong thunderstorms beginning to move across Central Florida. This particular cell here, this is right over Marion County. There is a weather statement, a special weather statement in effect for it because we are looking at some strong winds up to 40, 50 miles per hour wind gusts, a heavy rainfall, but thankfully it looks like light to moderate rain at the moment, and also some lightning associated with that particular cell. So again, if you live in Marion County, that particular storm is beginning to rain itself out. As we head to Osceola County, looking at a pretty healthy storm here, producing not only heavy rain, a ton of lightning, and there are no warnings in effect, but it looks like it's sitting right over Disney World, and it's been raining there for about an hour. I will continue to watch it, and then looking at a few showers, light to moderate rain, heavy rain moving over Cape Canaveral. For the rest of us here, looking nice and dry as we wrap up our Friday. So here's why we've been entering a wet pattern, because we have a stationary front that is draped over Central Florida. But I do want to draw your attention over to this area of low pressure that is sitting over parts of eastern Texas. That area of low pressure is expected to slide closer to us as we go into the weekend, and that is going to keep rain chances relatively high. So here's what you need to know for your Friday. Keep the rain gear around. Scattered heavy rain is certainly possible heading into the weekend, and I am monitoring one spot out in the eastern Atlantic. It is breezy along our coastline, getting those east coast sea breeze winds, 14 miles per hour in Daytona Beach, 12 miles per hour in Cocoa Beach, and also staying breezy as we go through today. So here's a look at your planner for the rest of the evening.
Your forecast is sponsored by Payne Law.
Rain chances remaining moderate between 40 to 50%. We're at 82 around 7, and then 79 heading into tonight with overnight temperatures dipping to 75. Here's a look at your beach outlook heading into the holiday weekend. We're looking at the air temperatures in the upper 80s. The water temperatures, it is warm in the middle 80s there. UV index will be relatively high, so don't forget the sunscreen. Breezy at times, and looking at a moderate rip current risk both Saturday and Sunday. So let's go ahead and time out things as we go through the rest of your Friday. Continuing to see scattered showers developing across Central Florida. Closer to 8 residual showers and storms possible over parts of Orange and northern Brevard County. Fast forwarding things into tonight, could see a few showers and thunderstorms lingering over Brevard County, producing heavy rain at times. Overnight conditions looking nice and quiet, and then Saturday morning looking nice and dry. So if you are planning a beach day early, I think you're good to go. Not until we get into the early afternoon hours, we get the daytime heating. Also that stationary front with that area of low pressure moving in, that's going to keep things unsettled, but notice how hit or miss the showers and storms are. So we'll be dodging some showers, and then around 7, a few residual showers and storms are possible. So just keep that in mind for the weekend. In terms of rainfall until Sunday, some spots could potentially pick up between 2 to 3 inches of rainfall. That includes Sanford, the Villages, Palm Coast, and Daytona Beach, and that could certainly cause minor flooding in those low-lying areas. There's a look at your 7-day forecast. 88 tomorrow, 60% coverage for rain, 87 on Sunday with a 70% coverage, but at least the rain is keeping our temperatures below average, comfortable really in the upper 80s as we go through Wednesday.
Yeah, the temps are nice, Michelle. Thank you. Well, during Labor Day weekend, many people are going to take to the skies.
And Orlando is expected to be a busy destination. Up next, the holiday rush and the issues at one major airport that are leaving some people stuck.
Your weekend evening traffic alert. It is Labor Day weekend, but we do have some construction projects still scheduled A lot of extra cars out on the road, so I need you to be careful. We will see some minor lane closures only scheduled along the Florida Turnpike overnight from about 9 till about 5 o'clock in the morning. Same thing along I-4 between the Turnpike down at 528. And I got a new one for you on the southern portions of State Road 429 over by US 192 Four Corners area, north and southbound. All of these will be very minor. It is a holiday weekend, so make sure we're driving safely. I'm Trooper Steve with your News 6 Traffic Alert. Have a great weekend. I'll see you Monday morning.
Taking a live look at Orlando International Airport from our Light Orlando camera. Labor Day weekend is upon us. According to AAA, Orlando is slated to be one of the busiest destinations. Today in particular is the busiest day for travelers. MCO says they expect to see a 3% increase in travelers during the 6-day holiday period. In total, they are expecting nearly 891,000 travelers. Meantime, nationwide, the TSA expects nearly 17.5 million people at its checkpoints through Wednesday.
Sounds busy. As Chris Van Cleve reports, this comes amid more air traffic control issues.
It happened again, a communications outage impacting Newark Airport Thursday, just as the Labor Day weekend travel push ramped up.
Is it the comm or the ILS frequencies that are unreliable?
It's our comm. It's, same old here. Frequencies are no good. There's parts missing.
The FAA says it's investigating this latest episode at the same Philadelphia area air traffic control facility that experienced major outages earlier this year. Thursday's outage happening despite the installation of newly upgraded communications lines, resulting in hundreds of delays.
It was a little disappointing, but I think 30 minutes isn't as bad as it could be, as we've experienced this summer.
Wednesday, Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy promised additional air traffic control upgrades.
By the time we get to next summer, there's going to be some noticeable changes and improvements in the airspace.
American and United Airlines expect to fly about 7 million passengers this weekend. The FAA is forecasting the busiest Labor Day in 15 years. The Kittle family is hoping to beat the crowd leaving Washington, D.C.
Yeah, definitely nervous. We didn't know what to expect with the holiday. We thought it might be really busy, so we got here a little bit early.
According to AAA, domestic round-trip flights are 6% cheaper than last year, averaging $720 a ticket. U.S. hotel rates are down 11%, and car rentals dropped 3%. Most Americans will drive, finding gas prices on average about 15 cents a gallon cheaper. Welcome news for Sarah Rowland's road trip through Oregon.
Trying to escape the Nashville heat. We thought Labor Day weekend would be nice here.
The FAA is watching for potential delays in places like Boston, across Texas, Florida, Denver, and San Francisco. Here in Newark, so far so good. Chris Van Cleve, CBS News, Newark.
Much more to come on News 6 at 5:30.
Including a community getting a new roof. We head to Brevard County, where children in one community are returning to some normalcy after the roof of the community center collapsed during a storm.
Plus, left lane driving. This is a polarizing topic for many drivers. Trooper Steve explains a potential issue with the state law. And here's a live look at Daytona Beach. Looking pretty nice out there as we get going for a rainy Labor Day weekend. You're watching News 6. Keep it here. We'll be right back.
Glad you're with us. I'm Lisa Bell.
And I'm Matt Austin. You're watching News 6 at 5. We are following several top stories for you on this Friday. A 23-year-old UCF student under arrest, accused of shooting cell phone video up the skirt of a woman in the campus library. And when confronted, police say Yoon Soo Lee claimed he was just doing his job. The videos are sold on the internet. New warnings for people using chalk to color in at the Rainbow Crosswalk next to the former Pulse nightclub in Orlando. These colors were painted on the sidewalk until the state covered the paint last week. Today, the state put up signs warning people it's illegal to impede the crosswalk there and deface the road. 31-year-old Lawrence Doherty sentenced to life in prison for killing former Orlando Magic player Adrian Payne. The murder happened in Orange County in 2022. As bailiffs let him out of the courtroom, Doherty said he will not spend the rest of his life in jail.
After standing proud for 37 years, neighbors were without their beloved community center, all because of dangerous Central Florida storms. But now, after weeks of cleaning up, the city's able to start welcoming back children. Brevard County community correspondent James Sparvero listened to upset neighbors after the roof collapsed and spoke with them today about the good news.
I'm back in Melbourne at the Joseph Davis Community Center for the first time in a month since the roof fell off in a storm. Now, that partial roof collapse affected this front portion of the building. This is the game room, a computer lab. That will not be in service still. But kids and families today are playing again in the taller portion of the building.
Hey, you ready for us?
Yes. That's the gym. Let's see how it looks.
Oh, okay. Come on in.
So I walked into the gym with Richard. Richard, what's it like to be back in here after this building was closed for a month?
Wow, it's phenomenal just to be back inside of this building. I've been here for many years, and my grandson too. He's been playing in here for years. It keeps a lot of kids out of the street, give them things to do positive.
So I stepped back outside again briefly because Tony here, who runs the rec center, he's going to show us the work that still has to be done. We're going to go inside the game room now. And Tony, back in July, there were children in this room when that roof collapsed. Is that right?
Yeah, that is correct. We had about 10 kids in our game room area, but yeah, all the kids got out and no one got hurt. Very, very scary.
And after all your time with Parks and Rec, what does it mean to you to see the children able to come back and play here?
Oh, I love it. We are just really excited to have the community back in here and utilizing the space.
And as the gym reopens, the city also tells me it will soon reopen the Meals for Seniors services that it does. That's going to happen next month. In Melbourne, Brevard County, I'm your community correspondent, James Sparvero, News 6.
Turning now to the forecast where Labor Day weekend is upon us.
Meteorologist Michelle Morgan is tracking what's in store for us. Michelle.
We are looking at some showers and thunderstorms popping up across Central Florida as we head into the weekend. So just make sure you have the rain gear nearby. Is it going to rain all day? No, there'll be a few breaks. And as of right now, models are showing the first half of the day will be dry. But as we take a look at what's happening right now, I am tracking a few storms moving across Central Florida, staying north of DeLand, some good downpours over your area heading towards Daytona Beach. As we head to the south here over Osceola County, we do have a special weather statement in effect for Osceola County until 5:45 for this particular cell. Ton of lightning, heavy rain, and wind gusts up to 50 miles per hour. Now, as we go through the rest of the evening here, rain chances staying moderate. We're at 79 degrees around 8 and 78 around 10. And of course, this forecast featuring Layla, such a cute dog there with her little bow. This was sent in on our Pin It page on clickorlando.com/pins. Send me your dog. Send me whatever you have. I will feature them. So adorable. And then as we head into the weekend, if you are heading out to the beach, UV index will be high, and we're looking at a high moderate rip current risk. So we'll talk more about this forecast coming up in a bit.
All right, Michelle, thank you. We are shifting gears now to the economy, where we're getting a look at the latest inflation report.
News 6 investigator Donovan Myrie has been looking into it, and you found some interesting things.
Yeah, Matt and Lisa, today's inflation numbers just out as we head into the Labor Day weekend show prices are still rising at a steady pace. On August 11th, the Bureau of Labor Statistics reported the Consumer Price Index for July 2025 hit 322. meaning prices have risen about 3.2 times since the early 1980s. But today's numbers, those are the core inflation rate or core PCX index, a percentage increase which excludes food and energy prices. At 2.9%, this signals that the U.S. inflation is persisting without the usual fluctuations in volatile items. Though the graph here looks like there's been a big change, there's only been about a 0.3 percentage point movement in the past 12 months. So what's the main driver of inflation? Guess what? It's housing costs, with rent and home prices accounting for about 2/3 of the increases since 2021. Also, a tight labor market means wages are up, pushing service costs higher. And then there are tariffs. President Trump's latest rounds of tariffs are playing havoc with imports and exports. That's paving the way for uncertainty and affecting consumer confidence. Under pressure from the White House, the Federal Reserve is expected to cut interest rates as soon as next month, which could lower borrowing costs and help guide the economy toward more stability.
Some say it could also lead to even higher inflation.
Yeah, we were talking about that in the newsroom, and we'll kind of see where it goes because it's, is it going to help or is it going to hinder?
And the Fed's been targeting a 2% increase in inflation. This is obviously higher than what they wanted.
Yeah,
this is 2.9, right?
2.9, yeah, it's a little bit higher. And when you look at that consumer price index, that number's a little bit higher. They like to kick out energy costs and food costs and bring it down, and that's more of a true number for the Fed to kind of go by and see how they're doing. So shooting for 2%, still a little bit high. We'll see if interest rates do anything next month.
Not as bad as it once was, though, that's for sure.
Not as bad as it once was, and trending-wise, you're talking, this is a 4-year trend. This has been going on since January of 2021. Again, these numbers are compared to 12 months ago. The CPI, or the Consumer Price Index, will go all the way back to 4 years ago, and you can see I had one graph, and it's just a steady updraft since then. Yeah.
All right. Donovan Myrie, thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Tonight, Federal Reserve Governor Lisa Cook is fighting President Trump in court to keep her job. And as CBS News' Erica Brown reports, this comes amid a shakeup of leadership at the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention.
The standoff between President Trump and Federal Reserve Board Governor Lisa Cook intensified with an emergency court hearing Friday morning.
Governor Cook?
Cook's legal team requested a temporary restraining order to block the president from removing her from her post at the central bank, arguing the move violated her due process rights. The Trump administration has argued the president has cause to terminate Cook based on allegations of mortgage fraud, which have not led to any criminal charges.
He has the cause that he needs to fire this individual, so we'll continue to fight this battle.
The judge did not issue a ruling from the bench during Friday's hearing, but noted this case raises important questions about the independence of the central bank. In another showdown, demonstrators protested President Trump's firing of CDC Director Susan Manares, which triggered the resignations of several other top officials at the agency. CBS News medical contributor Dr. Celine Gounder sat down with two of them.
The vaccine science and other science that CDC provides has been able to stay free of ideology. But with the changes that are happening at CDC, I don't think that that's going to be true for much longer.
Jim O'Neill, the deputy to Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. and former biotech investor, has been tapped to serve as acting director. In a letter to CDC staffers, the HHS secretary said he's committed to working with the CDC to restore trust in public health, saying in part, "This mission remains strong, and so does my full confidence in you." Erica Brown, CBS News, the White House.
Well, here's something we've all seen on the road. Slower cars in the left lane, forcing people to pass on the right side.
Florida lawmakers have attempted to remedy this by proposing a bill to make the left lane a passing zone only, but that bill so far has failed. Today on Trooper Steve on Patrol, he breaks down one example of why left lane driving is flawed.
There's an RV in that far left travel lane, causing that white SUV to have to pass it on the right-hand side. Guys, I'm doing 64 miles an hour in a posted 65 zone. I'm in the far right lane. That RV should not be there, even under the current law. The current law says if you're below the posted speed limit, you shouldn't be there. That vehicle shouldn't be there. Why? Because it's causing the other vehicles behind me to have to pass it on the right-hand side. What does Florida law say about passing? Passing should be conducted on the left, not the right.
It drives me nuts.
Beat it, nerd.
The lingerers
Get out of that lane.
in the left lane. Yes, for a complete breakdown of the left lane driving law, you can check out Trooper Steve's article on clickorlando.com. There you'll find a full breakdown of what the law actually states and the recent efforts by lawmakers to try to change it.
And you can hit the road with Trooper Steve on patrol weekday mornings at 10, live on the News 6 Plus streaming app for your smart TV or clickorlando.com. Still to come on News 6 at 5, an executive order that could impact your wallet.
How an old shipping tax exemption will make normally cheap orders much more expensive.
Plus, Guinness World Record celebrates 70 years, the challenge they are now issuing to people, and the impact Central Florida has had on the record books.
Take a break from those summer reruns. Try out the all-new primetime schedule on News 6 Plus. We're going to have a take on the day's news that is different on News 6 tonight. That's at 9 o'clock. Go in depth as we track the tropics and answer your weather questions with our meteorologists at 9:30. Then watch the late news an hour early. It's all tonight on News 6 Plus.
And you can download our streaming app for free. Just search WKMG in your smart TV's app store. It's also available on Roku, Apple TV, and Fire TV.
Overnight, an executive order signed could impact millions of Americans.
As CBS News Money Watch correspondent Kelly O'Grady explains, a rule that allowed cheaper online shipments to enter the U.S. tax-free is now gone.
Now, the loophole known as the de minimis exemption has allowed goods worth less than $800 to enter the U.S. duty-free since 2016. President Trump signed an executive order last month to abolish the practice. These smaller shipments will be subject to country-specific tariffs. So let's take an example. If a package worth $200 comes from a country with a tariff rate of 25% or more, say Brazil, India, or Switzerland, the business or individual bringing that product into the U.S. would see at least $50 in extra costs. Now, gifts and personal items under $100 will still be exempt. According to U.S. Customs and Border Protection, more than 1.36 billion packages entered the U.S. through the exemption now eliminated in 2024. Now, the White House closed the loophole for packages from China in May, impacting online retailers like Shein and Temu. With the exemption now going away for all countries, that shuts down the option to reroute those smaller Chinese shipments. Now, the uncertainty is also causing confusion globally. National post offices across Europe and Asia announced they'll suspend these smaller shipments to the U.S. as they work to change their systems to comply with new requirements. By the way, we are learning this morning some U.S. customers reportedly are seeing cancellations because of that. The White House said ending the de minimis exemption would help combat, quote, escalating deceptive shipping practices, claiming some shippers abused it to send drugs such as fentanyl into the U.S. I'm Kelly O'Grady, CBS News, New York.
So we are on the cusp of Labor Day weekend here, and it's going to be a wet one, it sounds like. Meteorologist Michelle Morgan with more details on what's happening now and into the weekend.
Well, you know the good news, Matt, is not going to rain all day across central Florida, but we are looking at some soggy conditions, especially as we head into the afternoon leading into the evening hours, both Saturday and Sunday. But for now, I am tracking a few healthy thunderstorms moving across central Florida. The first one here, we have a special weather statement in effect until 5:45 for parts of Osceola County here due to this particular sun cell that is producing heavy rain, a ton of lightning, and also gusts up to 40, even 50 miles per hour. So this will continue to move to our south and east. So it is raining pretty heavily over parts of St. Cloud, and this is heading towards Holopaw. So if you live in that area, get ready. Heavy rain is heading your way. Heading to the coast, it looks like things are improving. I was tracking heavy rain earlier over parts of northern Brevard County. Cape Canaveral saw some heavy rain. This is staying north of Cocoa Beach, but you can see that is pushing offshore. And as we head to parts of Flagler County and also Volusia County, DeLand getting a good soaking rain, Cypress Lake States getting some light to moderate rain, and Daytona, around the Daytona Beach area, some light showers, some sprinkles for you. So as we also head to Marion County, looking at some light to moderate rain as well, but things are beginning to improve, which is great news. Zooming things out, looking pretty dry across the metro area. So for today, again, temperatures we saw lower 90s, 92 was our official high, didn't pick up any rain just yet. And then out in Daytona Beach, a gorgeous shot, some clouds out in the distance. We saw a daytime high of 88 degrees. So here's a look at your hour-by-hour forecast for the rest of today.
Your forecast is sponsored by Publix.
I'm going to keep rain chances around 40 to 50%, so have the rain gear nearby. We're at 85 around 7, 81 around 8, mostly cloudy skies, and then overnight temperatures dipping to 75. Your weekend forecast, placing a 60% coverage for showers and storms with a high of 88 on Saturday, 70% on Sunday with a high of 87. Tropical downpours are possible. So as you take a look at your clouds and rain forecast, scattered rain will continue through most of the rest of the evening, I should say. Closer to 10, this particular model showing a few showers and storms lingering over northern Brevard County, isolated showers during the overnight, but things are looking much quieter as we head into early Saturday morning. So if you have any plans early Saturday, heading out to the beach, anything outdoors, I think we'll be all right. Closer to noon, a few isolated showers and embedded thunderstorms are possible, and then becoming scattered through the day. We'll be dodging some showers and some thunderstorms. And again, it could get heavy in many locations, which could lead to minor flooding in those low-lying areas. Now, when everything is said and done, according to this model here, the rainfall potential, some spots could pick up between 2 to 3 inches. That includes Sanford, Palm Coast, Daytona Beach, Cocoa Beach, and the Villages. So we'll watch out for that minor flooding threat as we go through the holiday weekend. Switching gears here, what's happening across the tropics, I am tracking a healthy wave that will be emerging off the coast of Africa closer to Sunday. National Hurricane Center has placed a low chance for tropical development in the next 7 days, so we'll continue to watch it. They have a 30% there. And as of right now, there are no tropical concerns for us here across central Florida. So here's a look at your 7-day forecast. 88 tomorrow, 60% coverage for rain, 87 on Sunday, 70% coverage. Monday is Labor Day, going to keep the rain coverage high, 70%, but look at those highs. Daytime highs staying in the upper 80s at least through Wednesday.
Michelle, thank you. Still ahead, a lot of pressure for kids to wear the latest fashion in school.
Some families just can't afford it, though. We'll tell you how you can help a student feel a bit more confident in the classroom.
Coming up on Monday, the cost of gas is down, but will that really make that next road trip less expensive?
What the numbers really show as many celebrate the long Labor Day weekend.
Plus, we'll let you know if the weather will cooperate for your holiday plans.
We'll see you Monday for News 6 Morning starting at 6 o'clock.
Here's a live look at Mount Dora. You're watching News 6 at 5. We'll be right back. Well, we all know you go to school to learn, not to be in a fashion show, but we also know kids can be brutal to classmates with old clothes or worn shoes.
For the thousands of homeless students in Central Florida, that is a very real reality. Content gatherer Alex Cook and digital journalist Christy Zizzo show us a program funded largely by donors that helps kids nail their fit.
Most of the time when we think of homelessness, we think of the panhandler on the street. It's just really down to, do the families know that there's a program to support them and how to identify. We have our kids closet that social workers or any OCPS staff member can actually put in a request for clothing for a student, and we can get them new clothing so that they don't have the stigma of coming in with clothes that may have been used or worn, and not necessarily gently used, but like used that even their shoes are falling apart, and we have the ability to give them, some shoes so that they can better fit in with their peers. We also have school supplies and hygiene items, and we cover field trips for students as well so that they can go on those educational field trips with their peers.
And we have kids say it means a lot. It makes me feel better about myself. It's I don't have to wear the same old shoes again and again. It means a lot to have opportunities for this, and my new shoes make my feet feel more comfortable. They know that there's, hardship, and they know that their parents work very hard. So they've even said, thank you, my mom is going to be so happy. They work really hard for their money. Their attendance improves and things like that. So it's great.
Now, if you want to help OCPS's Kids Closet, or if you want to find a program in your county school district, we have that information for you at clickorlando.com/homelessness. Just click on this story. Well, Guinness World Record is turning 70, and it is marking the milestone by highlighting some jaw-dropping record holders from around the world.
But if you want to make history, Guinness is also releasing 70 unclaimed titles for anybody itching to try to make a little history. Records show still up for grabs. The most high fives in 30 seconds. You could beat that,
Yeah,
Lisa.
okay.
The fastest time to blow a postage stamp, 32 feet. And the most whoopee cushions sat on in 1 minute. Guinness says they're also looking into AI records now.
The imagination of people around the world is endless. And there's always new things happening, you know. There's technology gives you new ideas. We have had, for example, a lot of drones related records recently. We're looking into AI records now.
How would you get an AI record?
I don't know.
Understand. Guinness has more than 53,000 records in its database, so you're really special if you break one. Some of the ones they're highlighting on the 70th anniversary, the New Orleans basketball prodigy dribbling the most basketballs at once. He got 6. That is impressive. And the longest human tunnel traveled by a skateboarding dog. That one took place in Peru.
Central Florida is represented in Guinness World Record books. In 2024, the Orlando Science Center set off 262 paper rockets at the same time. And in 2015, a home in Orlando had the largest word search with more than 62,000 letters. Also in 2024, the Orlando Solar Bears had the largest gathering of people wearing Aloha shirts with 1,254. And for 2 years in a row, the Solar Bears tried to set a record. I was there both times as the official observer. It was very difficult. In 2023, they tried to have the most people in one area wearing tie-dye. And you had to wear like 2 pieces. They didn't. And the challenge is, as you have a limited amount of time to count people, and people were leaving, going to get something to drink, going to the bathroom.
They
and
get
so
bored with things pretty
the
quickly.
second time was a success.
Good.
Yeah.
I'm glad to see it. Well, we are starting News 6 at 6 with some breaking news out of downtown Orlando. A man arrested and accused of killing a swan at Lake Eola. What we know about the situation, plus.
One moment I saw him running around the pool, the next moment he's being pulled up from the bottom.
Answering the call to serve on or off the clock. We'll be right back.
Streaming on clickorlando.com and broadcasting live, you're watching News 6 at 6 p.m.
Now at 6, 2 stories unfolding in downtown Orlando tonight. The tug of war between FDOT and protesters continues over that rainbow crosswalk meant to honor the lives lost during a mass shooting. The new signs fueling the fire. But we begin at Lake Eola, where we've learned someone has killed a baby swan. City leaders say the swan was just released into the park last weekend. Now, if you know anything about Orlando and Lake Eola Park, you know the swans are a city treasure there. And District 4 City Commissioner Patty Sheehan is a passionate person about each and every one of these swans. Your Orlando community correspondent Jarrell Baker met up with the commissioner to get more info about what happened here.
Mentally ill. That's how city leaders are describing a man who killed a baby bird right here at Lake Eola this afternoon.
It happened around 12:30 Friday afternoon. District 4 Commissioner Patty Sheehan says that the transient person walked up behind the baby bird and broke its neck. She says the man was arrested while carrying the dead body. Now, according to OPD, the man is charged with third-degree grand theft and animal cruelty. She says the victim was a juvenile swan, which was released last week.
We hope that people come to beautiful Lake Eola Park to enjoy our wildlife, to enjoy the swans, but there unfortunately are people who have mental issues or problems, and this person decided to take it out on a helpless, defenseless animal, which is disgusting.
Unfortunately, this is another one of the negative interactions that people have had with swans over the past few years. There was also a man back in 2021 who was recorded snatching baby swans from their nests. Now, Commissioner Sheehan says that they have several safety measures here around Lake Eola, including cameras to make sure that the swans are safe. Here in Lake Eola, Jarrell Baker, News 6.
Now to the other big story. It's been repainted, pressure washed, chalked over and over again since late last week. I'm talking about the rainbow crosswalk outside the Pulse Memorial, which was recently removed of its color by FDOT. Your Orlando community correspondent Mike Valenti takes us to the latest standoff between FHP and those chalk-wielding protesters.
With FHP vehicles parked nearby, newly placed signs from FDOT warn against defacing the roadway and impeding traffic. You can see someone placed this sticker here right on the sign that says "Love Wins." More than a week into a back and forth with FDOT, protesters donning rainbow colors have shown no interest in leaving this area.
This is a different one that they were saying.
Friday afternoon, a sergeant with FHP spoke with protesters who were asking for clarity about what is and what is not allowed. The sergeant cited 2 statutes that he said they would be violating if they continued to cover the crosswalk in chalk. One of them, 316.0775, prohibits interference with traffic control devices. The interaction appeared to be less rocky than one that had unfolded a few hours prior.
Just don't do it again.
Doesn't matter. What crimes are they committing? Contact FDOT.
Around the time News 6 was on the air at noon Friday, this scene unfolded.
I already gave out warning to 2 people. For what? What did they violate?
The tension eventually diffused, and protesters picked the chalk back up.
I find it to be an invalid statute to be arresting people for chalking a sidewalk, and on top of that, most likely an infringement on First Amendment right to free speech.
Local attorney Blake Simons showed up at Pulse on his own time Friday. No one has been arrested, but he handed out his cards, just in case they need his services. I'm your Orlando community correspondent, Mike Valenti, News 6.
So we have been following this story extensively for more than a week now. You can look back on all of our coverage, all the twists and turns at clickorlando.com. Just type the word crosswalk, one word, in the search bar. All eyes are on that Labor Day weekend forecast. I know I'm looking at it very closely. Can we expect more of this right now, what you're seeing at the coast? Well, for the answer to that, meteorologist Michelle Morgan joins us. Michelle, I could see some pretty heavy storms behind you.
Yeah, I am still tracking some pretty strong thunderstorms here, Matt, moving across parts of Osceola County this afternoon, producing heavy rain, lightning, gusty winds up to 30-40 miles per hour. And you can see this particular cell here continuing to move to the east towards Hollow Paw as well as Harmony. You'll see light to moderate rain momentarily. So if you're heading out, just keep that in mind. fine. Give yourself extra traveling time if you're heading out on the roads. As we head to Volusia County, looking at some light showers near Pearson, some sprinkles, light to moderate rain near or over DeLand and Lake Helen along the I-4 corridor there. And then for the rest of Central Florida, the metro area points west. We're looking nice and quiet at the moment. Temperatures have cooled down some due to the rain. We're at 76 in Kissimmee, Sanford 82, DeLand 78, Daytona Beach sitting at 83, and Claremont-Leesburg coming in at 84 degrees. Now, still tracking that East Coast sea breeze. It is picking up our wind gusts at 14 miles per hour in Daytona Beach, 11 miles per hour in Cocoa Beach and Cape Canaveral, and 12 miles per hour in Palm Coast. Rest of the evening, if you have any Friday night plans, keep the rain gear nearby. I'm going to keep rain chances around that 40 to 50% mark, and then overnight temperatures dipping into the middle 70s. Now, rain chances are relatively high as we head into the weekend. Not a complete washout, but I'll have the timing on the rain coming up in a bit.
Michelle, thank you. A UCF student was taken away from the school's library in cuffs today after police say he was caught pointing a camera up a woman's skirt. Yeon-Soo Lee here is facing charges of video voyeurism and tampering with evidence. Lee faced a judge today where he was granted a $5,000 bond on the first charge and a $1,500 bond on the second. The victim in this told UCF police she was sitting at a desk studying when she noticed the suspect's cell phone and confronted him. The arrest affidavit says Lee later told a witness that taking videos was his job and that there are entire communities for these kinds of videos.
It's awful for him to say it's his job too and try and validate things is wrong.
It's surprising that happened in the library because I feel like that's probably one of the safer areas.
The witness told police Lee deleted the video. UCF police are investigating. The final words for the man sentenced to life for the death of a former Orlando Magic player. Lawrence Doherty learned his fate inside an Orange County courtroom today, 3 years after the death of Adrian Payne. Now, Payne played for the Magic during the 2017-2018 season. Now, he was shot and killed outside of a townhouse complex on Curry Ford Road. Now, investigators say Payne was trying to help a woman involved in a domestic dispute with Doherty and his girlfriend at the time. Doherty claimed self-defense, even took the stand in his own defense during the trial. Doherty has 30 days to appeal. Well, tiny homes could be coming to DeLand, the city considering allowing the tiny house communities as a way to bring more affordable housing options. Your Volusia County community correspondent, Molly Reed, breaks down how it would work.
DeLand is looking to expand its options for people who either can't afford a house or those who would rather just live minimally. Now, on average, tiny homes can cost anywhere from about $50,000 to $300,000. Part of the city's work right now is drafting the rules if this gets through.
The planning staff have done a lot of work researching what other communities and other states have done, and so there'll be standards of what they look like.
Mayor Chris Cloudman says the city is considering allowing tiny homes and tiny house communities around the downtown DeLand area.
We've looked at kind of a slightly different variation on either townhouses or condos in kind of a village format.
They would likely have to be on a permanent foundation, not on wheels, and they typically can be anywhere from 200 to 600 square feet. They would have to meet all of Florida's building codes for plumbing and electrical too.
You can have a single tiny home on your property and have either an aging parent or even a child just starting out be able to still live at home but be more independent.
The Neighborhood Center in DeLand also sees this as an opening to help more people. The center helps people experiencing homelessness and works to prevent it.
It would allow us to actually develop an area behind our bridge shelter to put transitional housing.
They're looking to use shipping containers to make a small, tiny home community right next to the center.
There's so many unique ways to have these containers created, and they're really lovely. And so we're planning to put 9 of them behind on an open lot behind our bridge shelter, where people coming out of the shelter can then stay in the transitional housing for 1 to 2 years.
Now, the tiny homes will go to the city's planning board on September 10th and then to the city commission on October 6th. I'm your Volusia County community correspondent Molly Reed, News 6.
Thank you, Molly. Well, the Leesburg Shuffleboard Club has a little more than 2 months to find a new place to play. The city of Leesburg says the courts on South Palmetto Street will formally close on Friday, November 7th. This comes days after the city commission voted 4-1 to donate the site where the courts are located to the Forward Paths organization. That nonprofit will use the land to buy tiny homes for homeless youth and those aging out of foster care. Toy bunnies making a real impact in the Florida Everglades, the crucial role they're playing in eliminating Burmese pythons.
Only on News 6, we're introducing you to heroes in our community who are answering the call to serve, whether they're on the clock or not. Is this the first time you've been off duty and had to help someone?
Yes, this situation unfolded before me, right before my eyes.
The rescue that saved a young boy from drowning and the reminder to stay safe ahead of a holiday weekend.
And here's a live look at downtown Mount Dora, courtesy of the city of Mount Dora. We'll be right back.
This portion of the news is sponsored by Advent Health, helping the communities we serve to feel whole.
This Labor Day weekend, families will likely be spending time in or around the water, and in a year that's already proven to be dangerous for kid drownings, we're introducing you to the heroes who made a difference for a family in Altamont Springs. Thanks to an off-duty firefighter, their little boy is alive. Your Seminole County community correspondent Catherine Silver has this story you'll see only on News 6.
One moment I saw him running around the pool, and the next moment he's being pulled up from the bottom.
He was under the water, and Mom jumped in and got him.
Everything was pretty much bang, bang, bang.
Christopher Fearon wasn't just in the right place at the right time when a 5-year-old boy was drowning in this pool in Altamont Springs in July.
At that point, my body literally just reacted on its own.
He was the right person to come to the rescue.
I'm a Orange County firefighter, paramedic, work at Station 34.
You immediately went into response mode.
My body honestly just moved on its own. I saw it, and by the time I could even put two and two together, I was already tending to him.
At the time, he wasn't working. He was just enjoying a pool day with his own kids.
As soon as I got there, he was purple in the face, so I knew he instantly needed care. The main thing, especially with kids, is the breathing. Any lapse in breathing, they instantly decline very fast. So he was still gasping, so I flipped him over, let him get that water out. As soon as some of the water came out, he was able to take a deeper breath.
I imagine you took a deep breath at that moment too.
Yes, it was, it felt like a lifetime sitting there watching him gasp for air, but it did.
How quickly things change, how quickly they turn around when a life is on the line.
Obviously, we see pediatric in our notes and a flip switches.
Wolf Charles is a firefighter paramedic in Seminole County who responded to the call.
For kids, we want to see them crying, yelling. That's normal. For him, not so much. It's not what he's doing. It's kind of worrying us. So we rush him into the back of the rescue.
On a call like this, timing is everything.
In all honesty, early prevention makes our jobs so much easier, especially by someone who knows what they're doing.
Friday, Fearon was honored for saving the 5-year-old's life.
I want to present this life-saving award.
A young boy who will now learn how to swim thanks to a scholarship from the Gunnar Martin Foundation.
That's amazing. I'm really happy for him.
This is Florida. We're around pools, we're around bodies of water. Getting that child in a way that they can survive till help arrives is the best prevention we can ask for.
Critical lessons are saving lives, and so are the people dedicated to serving our community, both on and off duty.
It's all I wanted to do since I was little, is to help people, and I love it. I love it. Wouldn't give it up for anything else.
Catherine Silver, News 6.
It is a good thing he was there. Now to a unique story out of the Florida Everglades. Robot bunnies are helping the South Florida Water Management District try to eliminate invasive Burmese pythons. These rabbits are not just toys, they are retrofitted to have a heat signature, a bunny smell diffuser, and some natural movements. They're placed in small pens monitored by a video camera that sends out a signal when a python is nearby.
We're trying to attract or lure pythons to come out from their hiding places and come to us, essentially. So come out of their hiding places and aggregate into localized areas where they're easier to detect and then remove.
Okay, the total cost per robot rabbit, I want you to guess in your head for a moment, and then I want you to multiply it times 10 because it is $4,000. Are you kidding me? For a stuffed animal?
That's crazy.
That smells like a bunny and gives off heat? I'll make you one for $40, I think.
Well, I'm happy they're not using real bunnies.
That is good. No bunnies were harmed in the making of this newscast. The other thing they do is they let the males loose and then they find the ladies.
Oh, is that how it works?
Yeah, that's another way. They put some chips in them. Kind of interesting. Meteorologist Michelle Morgan joining us now, and everybody is thinking about this weekend.
Of course.
And what they're going to do. What time? So if I'm going to go out, say on a boat, should I do it in the morning or in the afternoon?
In the morning.
Okay.
So I do expect the heavy rain to move in at least afternoon. So if you're planning a beach day, if you're cool like Matt, heading out on a boat, lucky you, it's going to be, a great first half of the day. So I don't think the rain is going to cancel all outdoor plans. But as we go through the afternoon hours, do expect heavy rain at times, what we've been experiencing for the past couple of days. So here's what you need to know for your Friday. Keep the rain gear around for the rest of the evening. I'm tracking some showers and thunderstorms across Central Florida. We'll take a look at the radar in a moment. The Labor Day, your Labor Day weekend forecast, not a complete washout. Rain chances are high, but we will see breaks in the rain when they start developing across Central Florida during the afternoon hours, lasting into the evening. And in terms of the tropics, I am monitoring one spot out in the eastern Atlantic, and we'll briefly talk about it. So here's a radar scan tracking moderate to heavy rain moving over parts of Osceola County, and a lot of lightning, gusty winds up to 40-50 miles per hour is certainly possible. But this cell looks like it is raining itself out. So that is great news there. Looking at another strong thunderstorm north of that, staying north of Harmony as well as Holopaw. As we head to the north here over parts of Volusia County, looking at light to moderate rain, heading towards towards Pearson, staying south of Crescent City. And then for the rest of Central Florida, we're nice and dry. So again, if you do have any Friday night plans, keep the rain gear around, still tracking that stationary front that is above us, so that's going to keep things rather unsettled. And of course, with the sea breezes, we'll continue to see showers and storms popping up. So taking you outside, downtown Orlando, looking nice. Low-lying clouds. We saw an official high of 92 degrees. No rain for us today. Temperatures are in the lower 80s in Orlando, Sanford, Daytona Beach, and 84 in Titusville. It is breezy along our coastline, getting wind gusts between 15 to 20 miles per hour, staying breezy through the overnight hours. Rest of the evening, we're at 81 around 8. Going to keep that 50% coverage, and then overnight temperatures dipping into the middle 70s. So here's a look at your weekend forecast.
Sponsored by Strata Air Conditioning and Heating. AC emergency, you ought to call Strata.
Rain chances between 60 to 70%. That's going to keep our highs below average in the upper 80s. Some tropical downpours are certainly possible. Timing things out for the rest of the evening, continuing to see scattered rain, a few embedded thunderstorms lasting into tonight. Overnight conditions looking nice and quiet. So that's going to set us up for a quiet start to our morning. And then look at this, scattered rain and storms beginning to pop up across Central Florida afternoon. And then we'll see on and off showers through the rest of the day. And then Saturday night looking nice and dry. In terms of rainfall, many of us picking up between 1 to 3 inches. Of course, with those higher totals here, we could see minor flooding. There's a marginal risk for that, so I'll be watching out for that tomorrow night. So here's a look at what's happening here in the tropics. Here's that spot. It'll be emerging off the coast of Africa. National Hurricane Center has placed a 30% chance for tropical formation in the next 7 days. So I'll leave you here with your 7-day forecast. Weekend, upper 80s, rain chances moderate between 60 to 70%, but at least the rain will keep our daytime highs pretty manageable in the upper 80s.
Guess I'm just going to have to sit inside and watch football. I am devastated. Sports director Jamie Say is here. Jamie, fans that stuck around at the Bounce House last night went home happy.
Yeah, and they went home a little tired and a little soggy, but after a 2-hour rain delay, the UCF Knights got the win over Jacksonville State in Scott Frost's second debut game as head coach. The Knights' backup QB played well, but UCF is definitely a team under construction. We're going to have more coming up next. Week 2 of the high school football season is giving us a good one tonight, a battle of the best from Volusia County and Brevard County. News 6 is at Cocoa High School. Here's a live look at Tiger Stadium as the Cocoa Tigers get ready to take on the Mainland Buccaneers. Tigers are 3-time defending state champions from Class 2A. Now, Mainland won a state title in 2024. These two are typically the top dogs in their county. Late arriving crowd, as we can see. Kickoff scheduled for 7. Check out the highlights on News 6 at 11. Well, Scott Frost says his first game as UCF's head coach didn't go as he anticipated, but it felt good to be back at the Bounce House. He expected more offense in the night's 17-10 victory over Jacksonville State last night. He did not expect a 2-hour weather delay that disrupted the game in the second quarter and sent a lot of fans home early. UCF did not spark offensively until pretty late in the game as the team came back from a 10-3 deficit in the fourth quarter. The Knights, a lot of room for improvement. Penalties stalled drives. The run game did not fire. But hey, counting that 2017 season way back when, Frost extends his winning streak as UCF's head coach to 14 straight.
I can't tell you how much I love coaching here. Even with the stands empty after a thunderstorm, it's just fun here. So I appreciate the people that stayed. Game didn't quite look like I anticipated it would go, but I was really happy with the fight and perseverance of our guys.
The Knights now look ahead to North Carolina A&T next week. Could be a new starting quarterback. Cam Fancher started last night, but he was taken out by a violent hit in the second quarter. Taven Jackson played the rest of the way, throwing for 282 yards and 2 touchdowns.
I've lost 3 or 4 quarterback battles my whole career. And I always just was waiting. I always wait for my moment, and when the moment comes, is seize it. And I feel like I did a good job with that last year, and the same thing this year.
First full Saturday of college football is almost upon us. It's tomorrow after the whistle. Going to have it covered. Florida State opens with Bama. Florida hosts Long Island University. Join Ryan Welch and me tomorrow night on After the Whistle at 11:35. Finally, Florida is suspending baseball coach Kevin O'Sullivan for the first 3 games of the upcoming season. This stems from an incident during last spring's NCAA tournament. O'Sullivan berated site officials at the Conway Regional. His rant included expletives, and part of it was caught on camera. He did apologize the next day, but not appropriate for
now
sure.
He's going to
and
have to pay the piper.
Price. Yes.
Yeah. All right.
Yep.
Jamie Say, thank you. More news coming up at 9 o'clock on clickorlando.com, your News 6 Plus streaming app as well. Have yourself a great night.